Hi, I'm Sean, the teen librarian here at Medina Library in the Square, and I'm here today to talk to you about our mask craft, or rather, our two different types of mask crafts. This is a take and make in which you get to express your own individuality while protecting your community from COVID. On the top, you can see our iron-on. This is done using crayons and sandpaper and an iron. And on the bottom, we have our faux tie-dye technique using sharpies and rubbing alcohol. Come along with me now, and I'll show you how you can make these two types of masks. Besides an iron, this is all you're going to need to decorate your two masks. Let's start off by doing the iron-on one using the crayons and the sandpaper, and we'll use the sharpies and rubbing alcohol later. To make an iron-on mask, you're going to need a piece of sandpaper that's cut roughly to the size of your mask. Don't worry if it's a little small or a little large. We're not necessarily going for perfection here. It's more for the effect. And then what you're going to do after you have the sandpaper, and it can be rough or fine, the different textures will give a different effect on the fabric. If you want to experiment, that's fine with the different textures. You're going to take your crayons and you're going to color on the sandpaper and leave a heavy amount of crayon. Not just enough like if you were coloring a picture, but excessive amounts of wax on top. I'm going to do a little bit of that and show you what it looks like. Alright, I'm done coloring my sandpaper. Hopefully you can see that what I've tried to do is, after drawing the flowers that I wanted to do on the sandpaper, I then went over all of the lines over and over again with the crayons and left an excessive amount of wax. And you want to do that because that's going to be, we're not decorating the sandpaper, we're really decorating the mask, so you want that to transfer over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sandpaper and position it on top of the mask. And in order to do our iron-on, probably the safest way to do it is if you put a piece of parchment paper or something over the sandpaper to make sure that if any crayon slips out beyond the sandpaper, it doesn't get on your iron. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a hot iron, I've got it on the highest setting, and we're going to just go back and forth and just hold on to that for as long as we can. I held my iron down for about a couple minutes. Probably could have held it down a little bit longer to get a little bit better coverage. And as you can see from the sandpaper, it does leave, like, the grains from the sand leaves an interesting pattern. Like I said, you can fool around with different sandpaper grades to get different textures on this. This is now fine to go into the washer and dryer and have your own florally decorated mask. Let's decorate our second mask now using Sharpies and rubbing alcohol. This is going to be even easier. All we have to do is take the Sharpies and hold them down on the fabric so that the ink spreads and makes circles. You want the ink to saturate the fabric and so that it goes all the way through to both sides. And just make as many of these dots, just like watch it, and just let the ink soak into the fabric, and make as many of these as you want. You can use the dots to make something if you want to be like a pointillist artist. Or you can just put a whole bunch of dots. One of the fun things to do is to take different colors of dots and have the circles overlap. So I'm going to let this red just keep on going until the dye starts to overlap with that purple. Doesn't even have to be an exact overlap because of what we're going to do next. Now I'm going to finish decorating it, and next then we'll do the alcohol. I'll be right back for that. Alright, as you can see, I've decorated my mask with a whole bunch of Sharpie dots. Some of them overlap and touch, some of them are not. Now I've got my bottle of 100% rubbing alcohol. Like I said, you can dribble. You don't have to use a spray bottle. And I'm just going to saturate this guy with the rubbing alcohol. As you can see, almost instantly causes the Sharpie ink to run. Now what we're going to do with the mask is we're going to let it dry, and when it dries, we're then going to run it through a clothes dryer. And after you run it through a clothes dryer, it'll then, the colors will be color fast and the dyes won't run, and you can do it in the laundry with a regular mask. So you can have both that and your crayon and sandpaper decorated masks are both quick projects that you can do to decorate your mask. Thank you.